Hi, I'm Frida, a Class C RV.
Welcome to part 2 of our Northwoods adventure. In this video, we'll check out the town of Eli, we'll go visit the International Wolf Center, and we'll hear the story of Dorothy Moulter and have some incredible food. Join us.
Let's go eat.
In our last video, we arrived at our Northwoods Getaway, and Luna had the perfect spot for our Frida. And thanks to Timber, we had electric. After our tour of Luna's lovely and comfortable home, we had mimosas on the deck and a good fresh salad with salmon. It seems we kind of messed up Timber's plan for the evening meal, but he came through with flying colors. Next was one of our many boat trips on the lake. I felt secure in the small boat when they told me the lake was not that deep. See, I don't swim. Between Jim and Luna, being Navy veterans, and Timber, a Marine veteran, I figured I was safe. Life jackets were nearby. The days are really long light-wise up here, and I had to wait a while for this sunset, but it came, and with it came our old nemesis, mosquitoes, or zigmig in the Ojibwe language. We were ready to wind down anyway and get to sleep, and just like that, a rain shower pity-patted us to sleep. The next morning, Wednesday, came with brilliant sunshine, which gave me an opportunity to take some shots in the mid-morning sun. People would really be shocked to feel the warm temperatures here at the beginning of June. We got our second full spring this year. Later that day, we went into town. Jim got his temporary fishing license, and Timber picked up some leeches for fishing. We separated from Timber, got the quick tour of town, and then went to the International Wolf Center just outside of town. The International Wolf Center advances the survival of wolf populations by teaching about wolves, their relationship to wildlife, and the human role in their future. Here's a look. We picked up some groceries and some of the locally famous root beer, named for local legend, Dorothy Moulter. The story of Dorothy Moulter. Nestled in a quiet grove of pines, just outside of Eli, Minnesota, are the cabins and museum of one of the Northwoods' dearest and most colorful individuals, Dorothy Moulter. For 56 years, Moulter lived a mostly solitary life on Knife Lake. Some remember her fondly as the Root Beer Lady, while others recall her as the Nightingale of the Wilderness, or simply Dorothy. She was a nature lover, a nurse, and survivor. Using root beer syrup, either from the Eli A&W, the grocery store, or ordered in bulk through the Boy Scout base, sugar, and yeast, Dorothy took the clear, cold water from Knife Lake to homebrew her very own root beer soda. Her recipe was not a secret. It's available at the museum, but the end product did have a tendency to vary. The carbonation came from the yeast processing or fermenting the sugar, thus creating bubbles. Dorothy's recipe called for the bottles to sit and ferment for 3 days up to 2 weeks, depending on temperatures. The demand for her root beer grew each year to the point she had to enlist the help of friends and relatives to keep up. Between 1976 and 1986, Dorothy and her helpers brewed an average of over 10,000 bottles of root beer per summer. She was a remarkable woman of resilience and courage. Read more about her at the link below. After the Wolf Center, we headed back for some relaxing on the deck. Later that evening, after the most tender and flavorful smoked pork loin with locally grown wild rice ever, we had berries and ice cream until the Zegamag came back. We scared up a deer walking back to the camper. He'd been sleeping about 4 feet from it. This place is just so abundant. From the trees to the flowering plants, lupine grow wild here. Lots of chipmunks and very tiny squirrels, some pretty tame, and the birds. There was an eagle's nest on an island in the lake. Swans, geese, ducks, bird watchers, and just nature lovers delight. Thursday, Timber had to go off-site for a job, so we decided to take a walk up the road to the mailbox. This is a tight-knit community. On this trip, I met a former Missouri surveyor, a local firefighter, and it quickly became apparent that while all the residents enjoy their personal privacy, that they rely on each other for things like sharing food, labor, news of animal sightings like bear, wolves, and moose, and where the fishing might be good. After Timber came back, he and Jim went fishing while Luna tangled with an internet supplier online, or tried to. I relaxed on the deck. That evening we were treated to what I can only say is the best fish fry dinner I've ever had. Now I know why walleye is king. The tater tots were seasoned perfectly, and even the tartar sauce, which is a secret recipe from Timber's mom, was extraordinary. With full bellies, we got on the boat again to visit with and take some walleye to the aforementioned former Missouri surveyor and firefighter. We'll call the surveyor Rex. He invited us for a sauna the next evening. Afterward, it was time for Farkle. Farkle is a dice game, which evidently is mandatory when you come to the Northwoods. In this household, they play Moose Farkle. It's a fun little game. It was my first time playing, and I won. Beginner's luck. Tune into our next video when we continue and wrap up our trip to the Northwoods. Well, that's it for this video. Tune into our next video where we'll be visiting Cowiche Falls, wrapping up our trip, and heading home. Safe travels.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Click the red button to subscribe. Click the thumbs up below to like. Click the bell to be notified of our next video. And share, share, share.